And welcome to this Wiltshire Caravans handover video for this 2026 Buccaneer Skyliner Bermuda. Going to start round the back as I normally do. It's a little bit closer than the previous one we did earlier on this morning, where we've done the handover video for the Commodore. Lots of similarities, but we'll go through this one. So you've got the Highline brake light, you've got the grab handles. Do notice you've got these fixings for bike racks, which are coming as standard on the Buccaneers now this year. So you've got a light cluster, so indicators, brake lights, fog lights, reversing lights and your running lights, space for your number plate. Obviously, I say obviously, maybe not obvious to everyone, but this has got self-leveling. That's a separate video that we have for it. So we'll send that separately, as I say. Right, you've got two waste outlets, so that's for your two sinks, so bathroom and kitchen, and also for your shower. Right, the important job, toilet cassette. So you will find inside the bathroom, where next to the flush there's a light that comes on to say that the toilet cassette needs emptying. Literally just slides up, bring it along. You can normally yeah, take it out, trolley dolly. It's all very new, very stiff, unlike my joints, which are very old and still very stiff. However, when it needs emptying, this cap comes off. Put that somewhere safe. Don't let it fall down the hole where you're about to pour this stuff. Over it goes. Press that button. That'll release any air pressure and help the flavour flood out, so to speak. So you'll want to rinse this out then. I would always say put that back on. Open that door there, I suppose you call it, and the slider. Possibly you might be able to see inside there is a float. So that's the mechanism that when the cassette is full, the float obviously comes up, and when it's done, when it's at its zenith, that's when the light comes on. So there's pretty much always a hose pipe around. Give it a quick rinse out, close everything up again. That's why I say put the lid on, because you want to do that to rinse it all out. Take the lid off, repeat the process. Very straightforward. Now you'll want to put some of the either blue or green fluid. A lot of places now having to use the biological fluid. To know how much to put in, read your bottle, but each of these has got a measuring point on them. You can either put the fluid in there and straight in, or you could just pour it in there and then dilute to taste almost, if you want to do that. You will notice on the Buccaneers, and it has been for a few years, there's no flush reservoir, so nothing to worry about there. Right, up top, freezer, vent, fridge vent. Then you've got the wheels, hopefully. You've got been twin axle. All the wheel nuts are torqued up to 130 Newton meters, apart from the spare wheel, which is 102. The spare wheel is underneath, probably accessed from the other side, but the spare wheel is underneath. So, next item on the agenda, battery locker. As you can see, big AGM battery in there. Buccaneers, they have got the solar panel, 100-watt solar panel, so that will help trickle charge things when you're not plugged in. But obviously, when you're plugged into the mains, that will charge up the battery, as it should do also for when you're travelling in the car, as long as you're all wired up correctly. Also in here, where you've got your electric hookup, there is a 12-volt socket and an F-type connector to connect an external aerial. Oh, these are a bit stiff. I'm getting weak in my old age, Mark. Right, further along, that's the outside shower, basically. It's cold water only, so I would suggest boots and dogs. The shower connector is inside the gas locker. Water, that's where the water goes in. Just gonna grab the water pump just to show you how that works. Whilst we are there, that's your shower attachment, outside shower attachment. So, whale water pump. I know it's a whale water pump. It's got whale written on it. all that does, fits snugly in there. Drop that down till it clips, and that's the part that goes into the water barrel. Give it a couple of dabs to give it just to sort of prime it, and when you're going to change the water barrel, just pop that in there. That way you don't lose, the pump doesn't go on the floor and get covered in dirt or grime or whatever. So what have we got in the gas locker? What have we got, except, well, not accessories, but as it comes standard, you've got a 25 metre lead. You do have one of these, basically it's a direct feed from a tap. I'm not a fan because they run on tap pressure rather than the pressure of the water pumps. There's too many variables for my liking. Some people use them and absolutely fine, but too many variables for my liking. Got a couple of Alco wheel locks. Insurance companies love those. Space for 2 gas bottles. You've also got the auto changeover regulator. So basically, if you've got both bottles open, as soon as one empties, the other one comes on. So if you set it to green for the start, it'll pop over to red when the second bottle is active. So you know when to. You've got to still change one. These gas locker doors, when you're closing them, don't be scared. Wide stance, get quite close to it, and then give it a firm but not brutal push, if that makes any sense. Okay, so we're running on the Alco chassis. It's got Alco ATC. The ATC is Alco trailer control. That is a sensor on the chassis. Basis of the story is, if the caravan was to go out of shape, to be fair, it shouldn't do really, unless you're doing silly speeds, but if it does go out of shape, it should dab the brakes on to keep things stable. Hopefully the only time you notice it is when you're going over a speed hump. The caravan might feel heavy for a couple of seconds. External barbecue point. So if you've got a Cadac, which we do sell, or any other kind of gas barbecue, you can connect directly to obviously your gas bottles rather than having to take a separate bottle around. Can't help but emphasize yet again, please do not use a gas barbecue inside the awning. It's the old, I'm not sure if the fabric and the flame go well together. They like each other too much, that's the problem. Okay, so being the Bermuda, it's not got a massive area of storage, but it does have access to a 230-volt socket and an aerial point that you can run into your awning. And I suppose you could keep half a pair of trainers in there. We spoke earlier a little bit about the wheel nut torque. Well, here's some information. This is the weight plate. Basically, this gives us the CRIS number, also the maximum plated weight, which on this one is 1960. Massive running order is 1801, so you've got about 159 kilograms of payload, except if you put anything extra on here, like motor movers, all-wheel drive motor movers is about 64 kilograms, so you just have to be aware of what you're putting on. You can up plate them to 2 tons. If you have the Starliner, which you can't get the Bermuda in, it would have to be the Barracuda, Cruiser or the Aruba, they are up to 2.2 tons, so that might be something worth thinking about. But yeah, wheel bolt torque for the steel wheel is 102 newton meters. For the alloys, it's 130. And the tyre pressures are 48 psi. That's just a locker that goes underneath the bed. It just basically shows the space under the bed, so it's not really a great benefit to see anything at this point. Right, so inside. I mean, I've already done a video just highlighting the fact that we had this come in. I think it's an absolutely brilliant layout, brilliant finish. I do like the colours, love the grey floor, but we're not doing that at the moment. We're doing a handover video, so shut up, Andrew. Right, so whilst we're doing that, let's go straight to it, really. Okay, so the controls. When once you've plugged your hookup in, that's your power button. Should come on instantly like that. But, and this is a big but, if it doesn't, it should do because you've got the battery. And it would help if I looked under the right side. Under here, you do have the consumer unit, or PDU, you'll hear it called, fuse box, breaker switches, all sorts of things you'll hear it being called. Everything's labelled, so not a problem. Here, there is a button, the push to test button. So if you've got no power coming in, press this button. As long as this drops down, we know there's power coming into the caravan. So anything else, then you might need to check your fuses, whatever. Clear as mud? Excellent. I'm going to leave this... No, I'm not going to leave it down because I'll probably stand on it. So back to the controls. So master switch is that one. Any lights that have already been left on will come on. Otherwise, lights are. These are your outside lights. Awning light, gas locker light, and your service light on the other side. These are your internal lights. So these are your spotlights for your surround of the star view. These are your mood lights around the top. Any of the other lights have got their own individual switches. If you leave them on, whenever you turn the power on, the main switch on, they'll come on. For example, you've got, there's your kitchen lights, there's just under counter, and that's your folly overlight down there. Or it's supposed to stop you falling over, I suppose, rather than being the folly overlight. Okay, but there are light switches virtually everywhere. We will show them to you. Important stuff, the water. So when you've got your barrel of water out there, you might want to use the internal tank. You might just want to use the your aqua roll. If you're using the aqua roll, keep the rocker switch in the central position. That means we're just taking water from the outside. And when the water pump's in, press that button, that turns your water pump on. If you are using the internal tank, or planning to, you think, oh, internal, yeah, but you have to fill it up. You have to fill it up from an external source. So have a full aqua roll. Make sure that the tap is closed next to the water tank, internal tank. Press external. That will take all the water from your aqua roll into the internal tank. And then if you fill up your aqua roll, you'll have 80 litres of continuous water, because it does automatically change over from the internal tank to your aqua roll. But if you're using the mains connector just from the tap, you leave this in the central position. You do not touch this. You do not need to turn that on. Okay, this is a little indicator just showing how much battery life we've got in there. Well, I say battery life, we're currently plugged into the mains, but if you're not plugged into the mains, that will tell you how much battery you've got. And it also tells us that 0% means that's your internal water tank. We have no water in the tank. I know the feeling. Clear as mud so far? Hope so. While I'm talking about water, this is important, particularly at this time of year. We've already had a couple of slight frosts, but what we don't want is heavy frosts. But what you do need to do is make sure you've got no water in your caravan at the point of shutting it down for winter. Not sure if I might need to lift up the cushions. What do you think? Oh, are you okay? So that yellow tap, that is your drain down. In the upright position that it is at the moment, in the vertical position, all water is drained out of the caravan. To ensure that all water is out and there's no chance of frost damage, yeah, there you go, no chance of frost damage, open the taps as well so all the air can come through. All right. You're pointing at me again. Are you on about the fuse?
No, the emergency release button for the jack.
Oh yeah, cool. Right, it's normally covered in the E&P self-leveling video that a good friend of mine and completed for us. However, yeah, that button you just shown, if you get stuck, and for whatever reason, I mean, we haven't got the controller in here, the control doesn't work, and there's another way of doing it as well. If you're in absolute dire straits, if you press that release button, it will absolutely drain everything out of your battery, but it will lift the hydraulic legs. Soon as you've done that, get the battery on charge again, whether it's plug your car in, plug it into the mains, however you get it done, you need to charge that up, because the battery will be almost totally knackered. Anyway, continuing. Okay, so Alder heating, or heating and hot water. So with that Alder heating and hot water here, it's got underfloor heating as well as from the radiators. Power on is that one. It will go Alder Compact 3030. So the first thing we notice, plugged using electric, and it says the time. Trust me, we're not filming at 5 past midnight.
Shut the door, Andy, I can't see.
Oh, is it shining off my head?
Yes.
Is that what you... Ow. Is that better?
Much.
Good. So, as I was saying, very quickly then, plugged into electric, and that's the time, or it would be. First bit you get to, temperature, how cold, how hot, what do you want the minimum temperature to be in the caravan. So say you like it at 18 degrees, that's you don't want the heating coming on until it's at least dropped to that. Happy days. Likewise, it's just thermostatic and it goes up in half-degree increments. Very straightforward. Press menu to go back. Energy, could do with some. How much electric or gas are you going to use? So you can use, obviously, 0 kilowatt and the gas is off. We've got no power to the heating. 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatts, 3 kilowatts, they are the options on electric. Most sites that you go to, if you put it on 3 kilowatts, because that's 3 kilowatt is for this system alone, I suppose that works out, what, about 13 point something amps or around about. That would probably, you won't have, to turn the kettle on and everything will stop. Recommend probably start at 2 kilowatts, and if you are starting to be charged on some sites, I would say heat up everything at 2 kilowatts, drop it down to 1 kilowatt for the just to maintain the temperature, which it will do, but it would take an age to heat everything up on 1 kilowatt. You do have the option of 2 kilowatt or 1 kilowatt and gas. That will heat it up nice and quickly. So that's another option. It's entirely up to you how you wish to do that. Let's turn it off. Hot water. Okay, you've got the options of off, on or boost. Off, no hot water. On, you have hot water. And trust me, the water is very hot, so make sure you use the mixer taps correctly. Don't just go straight to the hot. Flick it up, stick your hand under it to see if it's warming up at all. It'll be hot straight away, so be very aware of that. You do have the option of a boost. Now, if you boost it, you've got 30 minutes of boost. Now, you can change that level of time in the settings. With that, it would use all the power that you've asking the Aldi system to provide to heat up water, rather than it would take it all away from the heating. The heating will go off in effect, but the water will heat up quicker. I don't know how I would say you're probably only going to do that if you've got 3 or 4 people who want to go and have showers in pretty rapid succession. But you might want to use hot water for other things. I don't know. Menu gets you to the menu. So you've got a night mode. So you can set for what time that you want the to start. So if you wanted to, so setting a start time of 10 o'clock, end time of 6 o'clock. You want it on Tuesday. You only want it on Monday. You don't want it Thursday. You want it on Saturday. Basically, you can set what temperature you want it to be to come on at what time. I'm going to turn it all off because there's absolutely no point to it at this point. I will send you a video link from Alder themselves. They will explain it far more succinctly than I can. And with that, they will also show you all of the features. They will mention dual climate, which isn't in any caravans as far as I'm aware at the moment. But I suppose that will be coming one day. So you've got night mode, day mode, leave the pump. Delayed start I don't think works. External start, I'm not sure if there's an app for that. Probably the only ones you want to get involved with are display, because you might want to change the colours, for example. Sorry, the display we've already done. Sound might be the one you want to do as well. Turn that very annoying beep off. There you go. But, like I say, I'll send you the link from Alder themselves. They could explain it far more clearly than I waffle on about. here you'll find a 32-inch television. This is currently on our forecourt, which is why there's no 32-inch television in it. And I don't mean to say anyone's nicked it, it's just that we haven't put it in yet. Up here, you get a radio. It's got, with the radio, it has got an auxiliary point. It's got a USB point as well. I think it's Bluetooth. It is definitely Bluetooth. I don't know why I said I think it is, but it is. You've got this power point, and obviously for the TV, you've got a solar panel. As I mentioned earlier, 100-watt solar panel. The aerial, so basically that just lifts up, turn it round the same direction everyone else has got their aerials pointed out, and then tighten up the nut. Well, don't need to at this point. Tighten up the nut, then retune your television, unless you go to the same place every time, in which case you won't need to retune your television. This is the amplifier. For the aerial, basically it works for the radio and the TV, all the TV points around. Okay. You have got USB points in here, and this is a wireless charger on the assumption that your telephone is modern enough to be able to accept that. Mine probably isn't. Before you say anything, thank you, Mr. Pierce. Whilst we're at the front, I will just quickly show you the blinds. Or will I? Not on that one, because I'll probably put it over the sign. So blackout blinds, and above that you've got the fly screens. All the blackout blinds have got fly screens, except this one, because this window doesn't open. Right, to the exciting stuff. Okay. However, just to let you know, these skylights or star views, they're not tricky. They're very simple, but there is a knack. So we do get people coming in saying, "Oh, I've been pushing it up and down and nothing happens." If you're gentle, push up and wait for a click. Click and wait. Click, and it's done again, and then up and down. So just be aware, some things you have to be firm, some things you have to be gentle. Much like things in life in general. But also make sure you do these up correctly. Just basically, you don't want to be travelling home with your skylights flapping open, your blackout blinds flying out. Got an omnivent in here. So an omnivent is basically an extractor fan, or a fan. I will take things in or out, open up the vent. Again, this is one of the gentle things. Be gentle. Press it once, and it will start to think about things. And just press gently. That's to extract. The overriding feeling is just to go like that. But just be, like I say, a bit of patience. Yeah. And that will draw air in. But always make sure you shut these down. Okay, kitchen. Yes, it's got a kitchen. Right, so we have Thetford oven. It's got one electric hob, 3 gas burners. It does say do not shut lid when burner alight. Pretty obvious. Also, when the electric hob is hot, don't put the lid down then. There's always a chance it could shatter. You've got a separate grill and oven. All spark up with that. And you've got a light for the oven. There is, underneath, 2 things I want to sort of get your attention to. There's a plug for the electric hob. So if you're worried that you might knock this, turn it on by accident, whatever, you can unplug it. That's a good thing. You've also got an isolator for the gas. Now, if you are running on propane, you can do that off the red bottle. You can do that off the bottle. In the gas locker. If you're running on butane and you've got a clip on, you might want to isolate things individually. So that's the isolator for the cooker, if that's the case. But I would recommend going on the propane. Ooh. Microwave, yes, you've got one. the isolator for that. Good God, my poor knees. It's down here. So that's the isolator for that. Fridge freezer, I should say. Fridge freezer. This is your power on button. Hang on, please. So power on. Okay. So we've got mode. Take the glass off so I can see. So mode for on the battery. That's not your battery. That's not your leisure battery or anything like that. That's running off your car alternator. So as long as the fridge is already cold, you plug it into the car, as long as you're on a 13-pin plug or 2 7s, and as long as they're wired up correctly, as in the car's wired up, the fridge will maintain the temperature. It will stay at whatever temperature it was when you left. So it won't cool it down from the start, but it will maintain. Mode again, then it comes over to gas. Recommend to put it onto gas every now and then, just to keep the system going. It does cool things down quicker on gas. Put the gas on. When it's going anything like that, you will need to press the reset button. Also, you could run it on electric. Most people do, to be fair. But auto, so if it's on auto, as soon as you plug your electric in, it will default to auto, to electric. Then pull the plug out, ready to hook up. As soon as you hook your car in, again, as long as it's hooked, it's wired up correctly, it should automatically change over to the battery, to the car. Happy days. Temperature control, literally with the thermometer. Very, very straightforward. And again, give them a firm push closed. And it, well, yes, it does do it from both sides. Don't do it from both sides at the same time. Like I say, firm close, just to make sure it's closed. Because you don't want these doors flapping open when you're travelling. But turn off, presses the power button twice. Press it once and once again and hold it. It feels like it's got that safety device that if you brush against it, it won't turn off. Everything else is cupboards, really. In here, if I can actually, if you come through, just shower. It's got a towel rail up here. It's a towel rail. It's not for me doing chin-ups. You always get a Wastemaster with a. Don't laugh. It's not funny. Wastemaster with the Buccaneer and the Crusader range, to be fair. But nice shower. Make sure you've got the catch in when you're travelling, otherwise the door will flap about. Spoke earlier about the Alder heating. Now, the Alder heating that does the underfloor and the radiators, that's the reservoir. Now, that reservoir there, we have a rule of thumb. So as long as you've got the fluid just above minimum, that will do us nicely. If you fill it up too much, if you put it to maximum, because that's a liquid, as it heats up, it expands. Most of it, not most of it, but a lot of it was just going to waste outside, going over in the overflow. Under here, I was talking about the internal water tank. Here it is. Holds 40 litres. Here's the tap, open or closed. If you find there's a little bit of a pressure issue with the internal tank, there's a little pressure switch there, that white pressure switch there. Literally turn it a quarter turn to adjust the pressure. And whilst we're talking of pressure, there is another video around about calibrating your water pump. Particularly if you get a new water pump, you might need to calibrate it, or if your water's pulsing, you need to calibrate it. Every pack we send out with new caravans has a how-to guide with it of calibrating your water pump. New for this year for all Buccaneers, you have got Wi-Fi. So you've got a 4G Wi-Fi system in every one of these Buccaneers for this year, which is a nice Brucey bonus. In the lavatory, so you've got a heated towel rail, so be aware of that. That does get blooming hot. I was saying about the light that comes on when the cassette needs emptying. That's where the light comes on. That's your toilet flush. This is your toilet seat, which does swivel around. Otherwise, I don't know many people who would fit in that bit, to be fair. When you're taking the cassette out, you must, and it is a must, have this flap closed. Obviously, if you open it up, everything goes into the cassette. If you try to take that cassette out now, you would struggle and probably break it at some stage. Make sure that that flap is closed. Only a couple of other things. One of them being this. So this type of sunroof, I'd call it sunroof hecky. That twists and hold, bring it back. Can go anywhere you want it to go. Just remember when you're bringing it down to make sure it's seated correctly inside the lugs. Again, it's something we show you on the handover videos. Oh, you're looking at this? Oh, now I'm gonna get my feet. Thank you. Do you know what's there? That's called the sun. Right. To open these, push the button, open up. There we go. Beautiful. And now I can't see an absolute thing. Thank you, Mark. I owe you one. Yes, I could have done that, but then I wouldn't have been able to open it. Pretty much, I mean, whoever comes for the handovers, they'll always have questions, which is great. And we'll always help where we can. We've got separate videos for the self-leveling, motor movers, the Alder heating, all sorts of things. But if you've got any questions otherwise, give us a call, 01373 752 100, option 1. Then you email sales@wiltshirecaravans.co.uk. Come and see us. We're at 36 Headquarters Road on the West Wilts Trading Estate, Westbury, BA134JR. You're probably seeing this on YouTube. If you are and you do enjoy these, please like and subscribe to our channel. We're also on Instagram, Facebook. Come have a look at our TikToks. To be fair, don't take them too seriously, but we've got some good ones on there. But yeah, however you want to get in touch, we don't worry how, we just want you to do so. All right. So thank you for your time. Like I say, any questions, feel free to ask. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.